can eat two, but everyone's like, if this fails, we might as well disband because Blackbeard's
Yeah.
gonna die. But this man was still brave enough to eat the two fruits, and it worked.
Yeah, I mean that's a theory that's floating around as far as Blackbeard and the two fruits. As far as is it really that he can eat two fruits, or is it like
No, I think it's
a
easy. He's
feature
eating
of
them,
his devil
man.
fruit? You think he's actually eating them?
He's doing extra stuff. I'm not sure what.
Well,
Though. I don't think anyone could figure it out.
like people are saying, like his devil fruit could have like the yami yami could have slots, and when it actually takes something in, like a devil fruit, it kind of attaches it to that slot. I saw the ring theory. It's a bunch
But
of
with the
theories
ring
around it.
theory, anyone can have 100 devil fruits.
Yeah, but Blackbeard seems to know like a lot about devil fruits. He found a devil fruit book somehow. Like that goes back to the theory
Oh
one
yeah.
man made an experiment
Mm,
of part of the experiment crew that they had.
yeah.
If he was that and somehow he got experimented on and then failed and worked, then
Hmm.
it's like, okay, now I can see Blackbeard and my ate two devil fruits, but it goes back to like Blackbeard isn't a coward. And then I don't know, we were talking about the Mihawk thing as far as Mihawk being stronger than Shanks. I think, like I said, the Yonkos and the Admirals, they've been hyped up to the point where people are trying to search for a way to bring them down now, looking for small things. Like Marineford, you cannot use Marineford as an accurate see how strong the Admirals were. Most of Marineford, the Admirals are pretty much just like we saw these one-on-one clashes, but then they would leave these clashes to somewhere where they were like suffering more. So I don't know why people use that a lot, rating those guys there. And I mean, like as far as like Shanks and Kaido though, like do you have Shanks over Kaido?
No, I don't. I was just saying in the example that he's the strongest, and that people have Mihawk over Shanks. It just breaks everything about the series. I personally believe Shanks is like third, maybe even last. But it's all up to debate because Blackbeard is still growing, so he could become number one.
Yeah, I think Shanks right now. I think honestly, I think Shanks is number one. I think Kaido is two. Wait. So okay, Big Mom. Do you think Big Mom is the weakest?
Um, to me, like I don't, it's tough because they even stated to be equal in terms of power, whether that means the amount of islands they have, or the
Mhm.
power of their crews, or just the
Their
captains
crews, yeah.
individually, right? It's tough to judge because there shouldn't really be a weakest one. They should all be the same. And the Pirate King is the one that eventually broke that and got above all four of them.
Mm. Well, I think they're equal in power as far as their influence, their territory, their crew. As far as the
For
fact that
yeah, go on.
you know, so I don't think so. They said the admirals are equal. I don't think all the admirals are equal, obviously.
Well, I was just about to bring that up. It's the same
Yeah.
as like Aokiji versus Akainu, right?
Yeah.
If Akainu was clearly stronger than Aokiji, or if Aokiji was clearly weaker than Akainu, the fight would not have lasted 10 days for there to be a
Of
slight
course.
victory. Like, Aokiji
Yep.
isn't dead. He just lost a leg.
Lost the
Akainu
leg.
isn't dead. He just got scars on his right side. There was no
Mhm.
clear winner. It was he kind of won
Yeah, like
after 10
he
days.
overcame it. It's like I said before, it's like a 4, 5, 6 overtime basketball game, and somehow somebody made a lucky shot at the end,
Exactly.
getting down. Like
Just one mistake and
one
it's
mistake.
over.
Yeah, and I feel like if they fought again, maybe Aokiji wins that. It's just one of those where they were so close. So I think relatively equal, but at some point, I don't know if I think I kind of would use underhanded tactics to kind of get the win.
I personally think that's how he won.
Yeah. I think it is he. That's what I think the separation is, where a kind of would be willing to do anything. PG is not quite there. So then that
Yeah.
goes back to Blackbeard and Shanks, where I think Blackbeard at this point is on Shanks's level. They fight. I think Shanks is immediately going to dominate at the beginning, or do something to kind of turn the tides completely.
Yeah.
But then that goes back to Blackbeard wins, and if Shanks dies, you die as well.
It's tough because you could even you can argue that any of them are the strongest. Kaido, this quote unquote strongest living creature, by title alone, he's the strongest, right? But we know he's also been defeated and captured many times. The only thing they can't do is kill him. So does that make him number one? When then we've got Big Mom. We don't know who she's fought,
Who's
if she's lost before, but we do know that her homies have never taken a hit. Is she number one? It's the same with Shanks. He's got this crazy, ridiculous hack. Hack's devil fruits. He's made it there with just Haki alone. That's pretty crazy. He stopped
yeah.
Marineford. He stopped Kaido from going to Marineford. Is he number
Yeah.
one? Blackbeard's got 2 fruits. Is he number
Yes.
one? It's
It's
crazy.
crazy because looking at all the feats, right? You can argue any of these guys being number one because Big Mom, how they set up Prometheus and Zeus, saying Brook is the only one that have scarred them.
Uh-huh.
Nobody else was able to do this, meaning Big Mom has won every fight for 20 years or not fought anyone in that long.
Uh-huh.
As far as so then you go back to Shanks and Kaido, Shanks was able to stop another Yonko.
Mm-hmm.
Happened. I think it was a negotiation where Shanks
Of
gave him
course.
something.
Yeah.
Like I don't think they fought. Obviously, they did not fight. So I was watching Marineford, right? When Luffy and those guys are going there,
Mm-hmm.
gust of wind comes out of nowhere and blows them back.
Oh, really?
And I'm like, yeah, a gust of wind comes out of nowhere and just blows them back. I'm like, wait. Is
Yo.
literally like immediately I'm like, is
Oh,
that like a clash of Kaido and Shanks just out of nowhere? So, but I don't even remember exactly they got through that, like where the gust of wind and how that was explained. But this is in the anime.
right.
In the anime, a gust of wind just blew them back. I'm
That's very
like I thought
interesting.
about Dragon. I'm like, no, why would he send him away from there? I'm like, it's just random wind.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if going forward, it was like, well, that was a clash of like Shanks and Kaido, which is crazy.
It
But
would be
I
very
don't think.
interesting.
Yeah. I don't think it was a fight though. Like a Yonko is not going to be over in like how long is Marineford? I remember it was like Marineford. They said Marineford was going on for like 4 hours.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
said it was a skirmish, so there was some sort of
Yeah.
confrontation.
Right. So I think it was Shanks probably negotiated Kaido down. Kaido's a drunk now. I don't know if it was just then it became like just an argument or just a discussion over drinks, and then Kaido retreated. But if it's Shanks and his full crew, I don't think Kaido would actually challenge that. So it's up in the air with that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, for example, if Kaido was just roaming on his own, like we've seen, that's what he does. He doesn't usually go around with his crew. And he happened to just
Yeah.
appear, like, because we know Shanks was traveling with his crew and he happened to face up with Shanks' crew. That's Kaido
Yeah.
versus an entire Yonko, crew on his own.
Yeah.
That's not happening. Big Mom can't do that. Blackbeard can't do that.
No.
Whitebeard
No.
can't do that.
Nobody can do that. The thing is, this goes back to prove that Shanks actually trying to maintain the balance in the world,
Mm,
right? Because then, or do you think he was just friends with Whitebeard, or because I think it's
it's
one
a
of the other
bunch of
Shanks.
things.
He knows, right?
Yeah,
Kaido went to Marineford,
it's a wrap.
um, shifting everything
Yeah,
because then it's like Kaido going after Whitebeard. After like say Kaido somehow manages to overcome that, like that's just a whole clusterfuck. And if Kaido
well,
makes a move,
it's like you could argue, right, that if Kaido somehow managed to get there early, Shanks never met him, right? Kaido
mm-hmm.
managed to get there early. Kaido isn't like Whitebeard, where he's willing to retreat after saving Ace. Kaido's
Nope.
there to fight everybody. And if Shanks were to turn up whilst Kitebeard's mid, like, bloodlust, I don't think he could convince him to just back away. He'd have to fight him.
Yeah, they would have to fight Kaido. And I think if Kaido shows up there his own, I think eventually his whole crew comes. I think
Yeah.
eventually Jack is like, oh, we're headed to Marineford. actually hold them off until there. And then I don't think the Marines have a chance at that point. Going back to how the warlords were doing things,
Mm,
really, they were just there. A lot of them
yeah.
were just there. Like Hancock was well.
She was the most
She was
active out of all of them.
yeah. Doflamingo was just enjoying the chaos. I mean, we saw Kuma, but Kuma was really himself. He was just like the skirmish with
There's the other thing
Ivankov.
when it comes to Kuma, when I was rereading, right? How everyone goes, oh man, it takes 10 years to load Ursus Shock. It takes him so long. He can just spam it. He literally just puts his hands together, opens it, and there you go. He's got an
Yeah.
Ursus
It
Shock.
doesn't have to be as powerful, impactful. It's not gonna be like what happened to Oars, but it's gonna be you're not just gonna get around it. And remember, like I think Kuma, right? With
Uh-huh.
Ursa's shock. I won't be surprised if Kuma can make use it like a Rasengan and make it in one hand, pour himself right into you. Like
That'd be disgusting. That'd be disgusting.
like some fourth Hokage type shit. Like
Another
just
thing too
teleported
is
once.
when I speak about Kuma to like other people, is like because he can reflect like abstract concepts such as pain. Could he reflect
Yeah.
pain out of himself so then he's back to 100%? Could he reflect other things out of you such as life? You know, stupid stuff.
Mm. That's the thing where it's like his fruit. It's weird because tries to swipe soul like his soul, right? Could he reflect that? He's like just reflecting Big Mom's
This is the
swipe
problem with
in a
him, isn't it?
way.
His fruit is what like the it's the definition of what hacks is. Like
It
without
is.
further explanation, it has the ability to
Yeah.
do anything.
Yeah. I mean, with Kuma, it's like what can get past that? It seems like nothing can get past it if he's like wants to reflect you. Like he can reflect himself.
Yeah.
Like we saw where he sent the straw hats. Like that's hacks. Like that's legitimately hacks. Like I don't know. Like that's one of the things with Kuma where if Kuma is Kuma, I don't know how you're beating Kuma.
This is the problem, and Dragon's above him, and quote unquote,
What?
Ivankov is somehow above him too.
Oh, Pharaoh said he made a theory saying he reflected his own memories and gave it to Dragon.
Yeah, that's what some people believe. Yeah.
That's I mean, he can reflect the pain out of you. That's not crazy. People are saying they don't really see Kuma that strong. And I know Mac and I think Zaki, they argue that is stronger than Kuma.
Who?
Jumbo.
Jimbo? Uh, hmm. This is the thing with the Warlords is,
Mhm.
especially post time skip. Come on, Law on the same tier as Mihawk? I don't think so. But I think pre-time skip, when they are assigned, I think there is some sort of level. Like Crocodile at one point was a monster. Jinbei is crazy. Boa is crazy. Kuma is crazy. Mihawk is crazy. There was a level for Warlord, but I think it's
Yeah.
gotten distorted.
Yeah. I mean, Crocodile is another one where it's like people okay, so the warlords, it's not necessarily a level, but I think it's kind of a scale that we can use because I feel like they're
Right.
relatively around the same. Like so Mihawk, I think is kind of separated, but I think Boa is around Doflamingo. I
Yeah.
think Kuma is around there as well.
Uh-huh.
Jinbei.
I don't
Um,
think Jinbei's on the Dofu level. I mean, he might be a bit less because, like, if Jinbei ends up joining the crew, you got that's like
yeah,
having Doflamingo just join the crew.
that is true. You're right. You're right about that. Jinbei could, yeah. So it's like, okay, so where do you rank the warlords? Where do you have them?
Moria currently is the weakest. Um,
Yeah,
then
or is hacks though.
he is, but he doesn't use it right. Because he's essentially the opposite of Big Mom. Like he has the same ability to an extent.
Yeah,
Um,
he
he just doesn't use it correctly.
he lost his way.
Yeah, and then I think who do I have next above him? Moria. Uh,
Or we include Weevil as well. Where you
oh,
think
okay.
Weevil is?
Oh, okay. At the bottom then. Okay, Moria. Then it.
So you got
Okay,
Weevil
but
beneath,
Buggy.
like
Then Moria. Then Law.
okay, yeah, yeah. Beneath
Um,
Jinbei.
Yeah, Law above Mori. If pre-time skip Luffy can beat him, Law can beat him post-time skip.
Right. So that's what I'm saying because you said Law, because you said Buggy, Moria, then Law.
That's right.
So you have Jimbo over Law.
Just they're like around that same tier, man. Because Law is not on the same tier as Luffy currently. And I think Jinbei has that potential to like break the monster trio up. He could be like the monster quartet or something. He's on that like he might even replace Sanji, seeing as how Oda keeps on stomping on Sanji all the time.
Yeah. Wait, so with Jinbei and
Right,
Law,
right.
that's I don't know. So as far as Luffy's tier, like, so if Luffy's in a B plus, where do you have Law?
Luffy's a B. Law is a B plus two, but the lower end of it.
Okay, I got
Um,
you. So people are saying that as far as B plus, right? As far as the rankings, we could start using actual percentages.
right.
But then we can kind of say,
Percentage from
okay,
a percentage from where though?
okay, so I guess a B plus is like a 87 to 89, right?
Right.
Plus. So I guess Luffy'd be 89, Law would be like an 87.
Okay.
Where
Okay.
it's a separation, it's a slight separation, but there is a separation. So then, a B is like an 83 to 86, B minus to 80 to 82. So it's like, it's not tier, but there's a slight separation as far as the actual number.
Okay.
I agree that Luffy is higher than Law, but they're on the same, relatively around the same level.
I
So I
think all the
think,
supernovas are going to end up being in that B plus like end. It just they're going to be in it for different reasons. Like Capone, like in a true 1v1, like if you remove his crew, he's useless.
yeah,
But his power relies on his whole crew, and when he's got that, he's crazy. When you think of the potential in him.
yeah, Capone, I think with his crew, you have to put him around a B, I think a B. I'm good with a B.
Yeah.
Like with his crew. Without his crew,
Yeah. He's nothing.
I'm thinking like the lower spectrum of like B minus. So he'd be like at an 80% or like an
That's the
80.
problem with rating Capone, right? Because like like if, for example, if his whole crew was made up of fodder, you would rank him even lower, right? But the fact that he's got people like Vito and Gatti that have these unknown abilities, that's combined into him as a whole.
Yes. So then that probably puts him on the B plus thing because you're never going to be fighting him one on one.
Exactly.
You just him and his abilities. Like he could be inside him, and then Vito could shoot his gun.
Uh-huh.
What?
Yeah.
Like where
You're
did that
dealing
come
with many
from?
people all at once. It's not fair, really.
Yeah, it's not. People are saying Law deserves more respect. Um,
Not really. He
like,
gets he gets
just
he gets a good amount of respect.
Law is B plus, the same as Luffy, but he's just like an 87 while Luffy's an 89. I think that's a lot of respect. And then we can say, well, Law should lose some points based on how he did it against Doflamingo. And, he got some
Why?
shots in. He got some shots in, but I guess the 1-on-1, the 1v1 compared to like what Gear 4 did, it's not. Luffy
Well,
was just more
Doflamingo isn't
impressive.
a B plus. Doflamingo is like a good A minus.
Yes. Is like
Like for Law, who's like the lower end of B plus or even the mid part of B plus, he's
he
gonna
did good.
have a hard time on someone like Dofi.
Yeah. So what's his name? Gear 4. I think Gear 4 pushes Luffy lower spectrum of like an A.
An A.
Yeah, like an A.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Well, I'm yes and no on that.
so okay, so like right now Luffy B plus 89, right? With Gear 4 in the
Uh-huh.
limit.
Uh-huh.
The A minus would be like a 92, but a lower spectrum of an A would be a 93.
Right.
Him slightly above the A minuses, but he would never be able to beat one because he can't last long enough there.
Exactly.
Or unless so because it's like
That's how I see it. Yeah, like he is on that like really high level now, right? But he can't maintain it. So do we put him there or no?
with the A minus.
Well, for example, like if let's say in a perfect world that Cracker and Luffy are the same level in every single way,
Mm-hmm.
Luffy can't maintain that level and he drops back down to a B plus, and Cracker beats him.
Yeah. So like he has to remain a B plus because I think Cracker could be an A. Cracker could be an A. Um, we haven't seen enough from Cracker, and based on how the fight went, I would probably slide him down to A minus, like the higher
Okay.
A minus, possibly A. Is Cracker is tricky because we didn't see a lot from him,
Yeah, it's not fair. I
and
don't like what Oda did with him.
yeah, I don't like how he was defeated as well. So it's like with Jumbo, I put him around B plus as well. Probably like B plus, like 87.
I could put him at a B plus.
You,
He's
see,
like the I think he's the high end of B plus. But it depends though. Is he old now? Is he? I don't know what to do. I
yeah.
don't know what to do with Jimbo.
Is he old now? I mean, I think he is older, but then that goes back to the age thing in One Piece that I don't really know
For
because
example, I think like Crocodile, he could give Jinbei a run for his money, man. Like Crocodile, like people sleep on this
I
man so much.
I agree with that. I agree with that. The thing is, it's funny in the community now, right? We have people that trash, where they put Crocodile within C plus, C plus area. Then they have people that's throwing Crocodile into the A tier.
Yeah,
And I think he's somewhere right around the middle. I think Crocodile tricky because I think he's high B plus. Where plus, I mean, the Luffy thing, that's the only thing that kind of you raise an eyebrow towards because in East Blue. I mean, but the thing is,
yeah,
he won. He defeated Luffy.
many
So
times.
the I hate using the plot thing, but how the plot and how it worked out, Luffy couldn't be done then. Like if Luffy dies there, then that's the end of One Piece. So with Crocodile, I'd put him in like around a B plus.
Yeah,
Like
I overhype just because I hate that he lost at Alabasta because he's not even one of my favorite characters. I just don't like what happened to him, so I put him up a bit. I have to put him at like the A minus tier.
this, well,
Yeah.
the A minus is
He's just in. Like his powers are so crazy,
Mhm.
and he's perfected them. He's bonkers. And if we see him showcase haki too, then that will shut down anyone that says this dude ain't got haki.
So if Crocodile is A minus, right? Crocodile at A
Mm.
minus, that means he's defeating Luffy, Law, those guys.
Yeah. For example, right? For you right now was in a desert, right?
Yeah,
Versus Crocodile. Or if Law was in a desert versus Crocodile, Luffy obviously has the advantage because he knows that he's weak to blood and water, so he would use that again. But
right.
someone like Law, he doesn't know. I think we've had reason why Crocodile is so confident. He still can get around it. He knows that and his true weakness is liquids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Law versus Crocodile be a high diff fight. A high diff fight. In the desert, I'm giving it to Crocodile. Anywhere else, I think Law. Because here's the thing with Law, right? Could sleep on it. And he may take a radio knife. And remember, radio knife doesn't
Mm-hmm.
let you connect right.
Oh,
You
you.
can't
Oh,
go
you're
back
right.
together right away.
You're right. That's a good move.
Yes.
Damn, Law's OP. Jesus Christ.
So radio knife may catch Crocodile off guard. Like if Law used like radio knife, like how Doflamingo cut his neck off, where Crocodile is like, because Crocodile is a bit cocky.
Yeah, he's
He's
very
very
cocky.
cocky. So I think he may take like a simple slash like, oh, it's not hockey, but he's not gonna be able to put his head back on right away. So then I think,
Damn, so this is why I don't like Law's fruit, man, because it breaks everything. Like you don't he doesn't even need haki to deal with some of the characters in the series because his fruit is
yeah,
just that good.
yeah. Law is crazy. Um, I think it's with Law's fruit. Law has the ability, his fruit alone, to be a S.
Yeah.
Like if he continues to grow and his fruit grows with him, he's going to be high S because what I think is going to come in the future is he's going to be able to his room would be able to move with him. right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's not just going to be stationary. Where his room, like he maybe it may take more of his stamina, but he would be like the room, like like Birdcage was with Dolphy.
What's wrong? What's wrong though with him just having a room so massive that the playing field is like it doesn't matter if he can run away because it's just so massive that he can manipulate anything.
That could work as well, but I think that's going to take like more stamina than he just moving with it. Just it's going to be a
Okay.
small room,
Right.
makes him more versatile, where it's not just stagnant. Actually, Law is going to get to the point where once he walks on an island, so scared because anything on that island, his room is going to grow so big that anything on that island he can possibly manipulate. Potential that Law has, but I think Crocodile definitely B plus. At least could be A minus. Could be A
At the very
minus.
least, yeah, I agree. At the very least, he has to be there.
Yeah, so someone saying I see him making multiple rooms. That's possible as well. Someone said they don't think Law can defeat Crocodile. Crocodile is sand, and sand is everywhere if Crocodile fights you.
Oh no, well
Crocodile, you know,
that's the problem. Like it wouldn't really matter if he was in a desert or not because he's got his fruit to a point where he can
he
turn
can.
any environment into a desert if he wanted. I was just saying that in a place where there is no liquids at all, you have a really hard time against Crocodile, no matter who you are, I think.
Oh, it's gonna be a tough fight. It's definitely gonna be a tough fight, and I want to see his backstory too, because how everyone spoke to Crocodile, it seemed like they knew something about him. I don't know if he had a lot of potential back then, where they thought he was going to be
Right.
the next up. Because how Dolphy talked to him, I think Sengoku acknowledged him, Whitebeard, those
Well,
guys
yeah,
really.
for
Crocodile
example,
was
when I was rereading Marine Ford in that, like, in the official translation, right, I was laughing because when Luffy and the Impel Down people fall from the sky and they land, right, none of them
mm,
even care about Luffy. They go, "Yo, it's Crocodile, and look who he brought with
Crocodile's
him."
with him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like no, no,
Crocodile
no, no,
June Day
no.
is with
They think it's Crocodile that brought everyone, not Luffy. And I was like, what?
him. Yeah, like rereading Marineford definitely made me and respect Crocodile a lot more. Where it's just like everybody knew something that we don't know. Like I think something massive went down with Crocodile that everybody's like, this guy is a problem that we don't know yet.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's he was able. I don't know if maybe he was a super rookie like Ace was with like a powerful Logia, and he was running through. Um, but then I think he ran into the wrong person. So it's one of those where it's like he could be just like Ace, right? But then he had about it where Whitebeard said, "Become my son." But he's like, "What? I'm not going to become your son." He actually tried to fight Whitebeard and lost, and it broke him.
Yeah.
I just want to be a Shichibukai. I want to rule Alabasta now, where he just changed his goal. He has a renewed focus now. That's the thing when it goes back to the prime thing, because Crocodile is like older than Doflamingo, which is which is like it would be like, what? Oh, yeah, Crocodile is older than Dofi.
I didn't know
Is Crocodile still in his prime?
that. To be honest, I don't think Dofi. Sorry, not Dofi. I don't think Crocodile is that like hand to hand guy though. Like hand to hand is the last resort. Like when you rewatch like or reread Alabasta,
Mm-hmm.
Crocodile is so confident, and it probably is because he's been so long in the Grand Line, not the New World. So confident in his fruit that he messes with you. He's like, okay, I'm just gonna slice you up with the sand or whatever. I'm just gonna drown you in this pit of sand. And then, oh, that didn't work. I'll show you my new ability. I'm gonna dry you out. Oh, okay, that didn't work. Well, now I'll fight you hand to hand, and I've also got this poison. So if I hit you, you're done anyway.
Mm.
I'll just leave you to die. I think
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
one of those people that relies on his fruit. And when it goes wrong, he falls apart.
Yeah, that's the thing with Crocodile, where he could have taken out Luffy so easily. Like Luffy was done so many times. Like it goes back to when he's, like you said, sucked the moisture out of Luffy. Like he was done. Like Crocodile had him dead to rights, man. So I know people say Luffy beat him pre-time skip without any gears, but when everything went down, Crocodile won. He won. So it's just one of those where Oda crocodile. The story couldn't have ended there, but
Well, yeah, like
it is
for example,
somehow.
I think I was watching Taekwon's video, right? And he even said because the
Mhm.
plan was that the King of Alabaster Cobra was gonna blow up the place where the poneglyph was and like bury Crocodile, thinking that the rubble and the bedrock would crush him. And Luffy
Mhm.
was like fighting and like beating it up, and Crocodile was like, even if you were to defeat me here, this poison will kill you. And when this place does crumble, I'll just turn it all to sand and escape anyway. So it doesn't matter if you beat me now, you're gonna die. I'll survive and I'll be out of here.
Yeah. I mean, that's another thing. The poison. Yeah, it's tough, man. How do you think he lost his arm?
Who? Yo, for a second, I've seen him with the claw so long, I thought it was his arm. I don't know. I think Whitebeard got it.
You think Whitebeard took it?
Fought in the past, didn't they?
Yeah. I mean, that would make sense. Like if that's what kind of broke him. Well, he lost an arm. Like you losing an arm would definitely send you back to the fucking
It's like
like,
go back to the Grand Line. You're not ready.
like nah, I lost my arm. That's another thing. It's like losing limbs in One Piece, where the whole thing as far as Shanks didn't get any weaker. Blah blah blah. I mean, believe, man, that's hard to believe that losing an arm doesn't impact like how you fight. I mean, I guess if you're a one-armed swordsman, I guess, but one, man.
It's another thing too. It's like, for example, some of the other warlords like Boa Hancock, right? People, I
Mhm.
guess, don't reread or rewatch Amazon Lily, but I've been rewatching the series of Uzumaki Khan because he's reacting to it, right? And in Amazon Lily,
Yeah.
Boa gets so much hype on her. It's ridiculous. I think she's one of the strongest warlords out of the seven, but the pre time skip at least.
Yeah, I mean, Boa is one that I feel like she's been impressive every time we've seen her.
Hmm.
I think, I mean, even at Marineford, like nothing really happened to Boa. And Boa, her
Nope.
power is one of those, like we saw how um what's his name? Momonga
Yep.
to get out of
Yep.
so it's I think it's going to affect everyone, but you're going to have to find a way to get out of it. I mean, you have like those things with like Luffy, where Luffy just doesn't see the opposite sex. Everything is just meat to him.
But the problem is with that, like people mistake that, like, oh man, Luffy wrecks Boa. Wrong. Boa,
No.
right? She showcased straight after that scene that
The
even though the
pacifista.
beam doesn't, no, even before that, even though the beam doesn't like work on Luffy and turn him into stone directly, her other attacks, such as the pistol kiss and the arrows, are still able to hit Luffy because she has haki. She shoots him in the
Yep.
shoulder. He's like, ah, that hurt. How did she do that?
Yeah. So she's not a one-trick pony there. And then that goes back to she was able to like turn the pacifista to stone, even though it doesn't actually have a soul. It can't
Exactly.
feel. So it at that I don't know if that could work against you, where it's like you have no feelings. So she has like an alternate move which can impact you. So whereas it's one way
In
where
Impel Down as well, like Luffy goes, "Oh, so you can turn anything to stone?" And she's like, "Yeah, it's easy."
yeah, so yeah, that's the thing. So do you think her move works this way? Because I don't remember exactly where. Because remember, she kicked the pacifista and it turned to stone, right? It's like, say, like work on you. So then she actually has to physically touch you for you to be turned to stone.
I think it's
Yo,
you have to physically be touched. Yeah.
yo.
Like for example, if she were to like shoot an arrow on you, right?
Mhm.
Unless you're in love, I don't think it turns you into a statue. It'll just hit you as an arrow with haki on it. But if
Right,
she kicks you with her physical body,
you turn to
I
stone.
think that you're getting stoned,
You
man.
stone,
You
yeah,
get you
yeah.
high as a kite.
Good, bro.
What's good, man? Can y'all hear me good? Because I'm using my headphones right now.
Yo, Matt, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, we can hear you good.
All right.
Yeah, but,
Ah,
but we're
What's
here
your
talking
thoughts on the warlords?
the warlords.
yeah,
What about them?
Mm,
discussing
we're
as far as
ranking them.
their ranks, what we've seen from them, what do you plan on seeing from them in the future? Right now, we are just talking about Boa, and people were talking about like how Boa isn't that powerful because of her power. It can't work on everyone. in a way, it can. What do you think about that?
I think that her power can work on everyone, but I think that depending upon how strong or how weak, you know, the power will have different effects. As like weaker people, you know, she can turn them completely into stone. Maybe against a strong person, she can turn like obviously it wouldn't turn their whole body into stone, but maybe she could turn like your arm, your hand, something into stone.
Mhm.
You know, uh, I mean, and then also, I just don't think that we should be placing all of our chips into or all of our eggs into a basket as far as her power goes, just solely with her devil fruit. I mean, she has all three forms of hockey too.
Exactly.
Right.
So let's not forget about that. And there's not a lot of like I feel like everybody that has all three forms of hockey should be taken,
Seriously.
seriously. Yeah, exactly. Like I don't think
Yeah, that's the thing where we keep wondering like what Conqueror's hockey does. It has to do something special, something
Um,
about it that does something that it scared all the top tiers when Luffy did it. Must be
I,
more
wa-
to it.
I wanted to add something too. Is in Impel Down as well. When I was rereading, um, if she so pleased, if she wasn't like in handcuffs, she could one shot Magellan because Magellan was a pervert, right? It doesn't matter how top tier you are. If you have any form of lust and you don't counteract it somehow, that fruit is broken against you.
That's a good
Uh,
point. Boa versus Magellan is a good point because if they actually clash, like I don't think she gets affected by the poison in a way because it should turn to stone,
that's a tough
right?
one as well. But I mean, like, I meant in terms of the beam. If he wasn't paying attention, it's a wrap because he had the love heart eyes and everything.
But I'm saying like Boa should be able to make like a beam where it's like it covers the area
Yeah.
where it's like Magellan sends poison. Like she should be able to like turn that into stone in a way,
Another
right?
thing too is in like what Matt was saying, right, in terms of the haki. All it's like how the minks they're raised as kids to know the Electro or whatever. All of the women on Amazon Lily, that's their trademark armament haki. They use it on the arrows, everything. And amongst all of them, they fight each other to prove who is the strongest, who is the most beautiful based on strength. And out of all
Mm-hmm.
of them, her sisters are considered the strongest when it comes to the hacking and stuff. And they were overpowering Luffy, and Luffy just managed to trick them. But then above all of them is Boa. So her haki game must be crazy.
like yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like people forget that like we were introduced to, hockey and weapons whenever we were introduced to the Kuja pirates.
Hmm.
Like people forget this shit. And people want to say, and I think that people want to say that Boa Hancock is weak because she's a girl. The same reason why people think that Big Mom is the weakest Yonko because she's a girl. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
That's the most retarded argument that you can bring,
That
to
segues us
say
up.
why
Yeah. Because we were
someone's
just
not
about to
strong.
talk about this Big Mom Fall this arc. Like Trippy
Heck
just said,
no.
it's picking up steam. It's picking up a lot of steam now because people are disappointed in Big Mom's crewmates. I don't necessarily
Well,
feel that way,
can
but
dude, can I say something about this? I
go
don't
ahead.
understand this. Why do people think that she's gonna be taking down this arc? And and then why is she disappointed? Like why is Big Mom disappointed? Can we not as readers take a step back and realize that Oda is right? Like Oda's making this arc very, very, very convenient for the Straw Hats. And I have to
Mhm.
call a spade a spade. It's almost too convenient.
Yeah, that's
Just
true.
it's literally just everything that's happening, and you can't. I just really can't be that stupid to say, oh, Big Mom isn't impressive.
Yeah.
We've only seen her fight one time. Well, no, we didn't even see her fight. She's only had one fight this whole arc, and that was
It
against
wasn't.
Brook.
It wasn't really a fight either. She was playing
And
around.
exactly. And then she even said that her souls did all of the fighting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think people are looking at Big Mom's crew and how Big Mom seems unaware of all these things that's happening. So people look at that and people automatically equate it to like she's so unaware, somebody's gonna catch her off guard, and she's gonna fall.
Dude,
It's not that simple.
And
big
another thing too is like, for example, when you compare her feats or what not her feats per se in terms of like abilities, but the stats on her, right, compared to the other Yonko who've taken multiple L's, such as Kaido, someone like Shanks who lost an arm to a East Blue Sea King, got a scar to Blackbeard, pre-Devil for all this stuff. In comparison, Big Mom, who's never been hit, stats-wise, is better. It's not really a good argument because you could argue, oh, but it was 20 years she never fought a top tier. But then I argue back to you, with her fodder crew or this trash crew that you guys say she has, how on earth did she become a Yonko?
Yeah, yeah,
my my
that's the thing.
thing.
It's like
Uh, I just want to say one more thing about Big Mom. Okay, um, can we also agree that she's acting uncharacteristically, as she's already stated, for the sake of the wedding, for the sake of
Yeah,
everything to go right?
yeah.
And people weren't acknowledging this, and I'm just like, dude, that it's dumb.
Steve just made a good point that there's no way Oda can write it where the Straw Hats get out of there without making a Yonko's crew look underwhelming. At every
I think
turn, they should be, overwhelmed.
I think another one as well is Devil Leg or Zeus Leg is saying that if Big Mom does not go down this arc, we will have two Yonkos after us by the time of Wano Kuni. But that's not a fair statement because it's very likely that there are multiple things that can come to a compromise. Like if Big Mom does get endangered by Judge and Capone, and we somehow help, she might end up being like, "I'll let you guys off," or if the wedding cake gets saved, all these little stupid
But
things.
wait, can
There's loads of things.
can I ask you? Can I ask a question? What's wrong with having two Yonko go against them? I mean, that, I feel like that was the point of everything, because Big Mom was already after Luffy, like since the beginning of the New World. She wouldn't have popped up at
Yeah.
Dressrosa otherwise. And
Yeah,
then I mean, we already have two Yonko against Luffy right now. We saw Kaido at the end of Dressrosa, and he acknowledged Law and Luffy fucking with him. Like he said, they think that they're all that because they took down Doflamingo. Well, they haven't fucked with, like they don't know who I am. They're just some
Yeah.
rookies from the worst generation.
Yeah.
So we already have two Yonkos against, like after the Straw Hat. So what's the point?
Yeah, I think that's the Yonko saga could be setting it up where Luffy finds a way to have all Yonko's eyes on him in a way, because Blackbeard already has his eyes on him, and Kaido, his eyes on him now, and Big Mom, that could be the next one, and that kind of elevates your status because then like these top tiers, they're actually paying attention to you now. I know right now Big Mom looks at him as like a, but I think by the end of the arc, she's gonna like realize that this guy, I believe something is gonna happen. Once she finds out about the poneglyph, it's gonna be reminiscent to what happened with her and Roger. I don't know if we get a flashback there where they show what happened,
That'd
but
be
I
good
think then,
storytelling.
so then Big Mom's like, oh no, we got to take this guy down. He took my poneglyph, and that would enhance the story because if Big Mom sends some of her crewmates to Wano, then
yeah.
we could have a whole greatness going down in Wano because then Kaido may think he's under attack by Big Mom as well. Luffy's working together,
An,
and that could start another war.
another thing is,
Which is what Kaido wants, though. Kaido wants
I
that.
I feel like having all four, or like just to piggyback off of what you said, I feel like having all of these Yonko acknowledging Luffy, like saying he's bad, and whatever you have that shows the dangers of the new world.
Yeah.
That's going to show how dangerous the new world is, because I mean, as of right now, the new world's kind of been underwhelming, from the sense that it was hyped up. You know, like, oh, this is where all of these people are, all of these bad people on the sea, yada yada yada. So I think that would be a good thing.
I just
Me personally.
I think it's been stated as
yeah, I
well
was just thinking about something
that
that theory.
that Luffy doesn't want to fight Big Mom. But carry on. Sorry.
No, I was just thinking about the, the picture you posted with Law, Kid, and Luffy, where it's like they're not ready for the new world.
Yeah.
Picture. I was thinking about that was with Kid in the cell, Luffy was in a cell, all right, and Luffy, the only reason why he's not fucked up like Kid is because of the people around him. It could be Oda even pointing out the fact that Luffy is special and he's different these things because he has the ability that Mihawk pointed out to him. And that's the only reason why Luffy isn't fucked up like Kid is right now. Around him, like he's not getting out of the cell if it wasn't for Jinbei.
Yeah.
So it's like,
well, he would have, but
Kid,
he would have ripped off his own arms.
But if he rips off his arms, like how much use is he?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like it would have happened, but he'd be useless.
One of those where I think Oda's kind of showing that Luffy, as far as that power, that special thing, he's different from Kid in that way. It had someone betray him, with Kaido, based on how he is as a person. So it's like there. But I think that goes back to me saying that I think Kid is just as powerful as Luffy fighting, but Luffy has the edge as far as like gaining friends and crewmates.
Someone made a good point the other day about, in terms, I know bounties aren't everything, but a good point about the bounties that when it comes to New World experience, that Kid is still on par with Luffy after 2 years because he has New World experience. After 2 years of doing whatever Kid has been doing for 2 years, and what Apu has been doing for 2 years, and what Hawkins has been doing for 2 years, Luffy outdid all of them in, what was it, a few days of the New World? When it comes to bounty, he got 500 mil, whereas Kid is still 470.
I think that's gonna be. I don't know when that's gonna be updated. I mean, that's true. That's true. Luffy and Law does have more than Kid. I do think the next time we get an update, though, like I think this is with Wano, Kid gets most of the credit for taking down Kaido if he falls, and Kid gets the higher bounty. Kills somebody there, but I think Kid is gonna eventually overtake Luffy and Law, and then they're gonna kind of fight it out. But Luffy and Law, they have a higher bounty than Kid right now. But I think Kid eventually is going to have the higher bounty.
Another thing too is I think when it comes to like the haki and stuff, you can argue that they learn it bit by fighting opponents and stuff. But Luffy's had like one of the haki masters train him for 1.5 years. Kid, I don't think his haki is on that same tier. I think his devil fruit, however, would have developed far better than Luffy's. Yeah.
But his mastery for his devil fruit should be. Here's the thing, where I think Kid had to rely on his devil fruit more in the New World, right? While Luffy was training his haki. So experience and then the training, the specific training, I think they balance out in a way, because I think Kid is probably going to be able to do more things with his devil fruit efficiently. If he can, he's already doing it. He has an arm, right? He's walking around with an arm casually. Luffy probably is going to have better haki, but we see how inefficient Gear 4 is. That may be the difference. He can't last as long as Kid can in whatever other mode that Kid has now. Where some people feel like Kid,
that's not gonna last forever though.
It's not. It's not. But I think once Luffy and Kid meets, I think it's still gonna have like a limit. Perfected by time they have.
Yeah, there's no way over the course of 2 arcs, like Luffy has nullified the Gear 4 time limit.
I think with Gear 2nd, we saw after the time skip, that's when he can use it more efficiently, where it's like, oh, just an arm, or it's not as draining to him. It's going to take a while. I know people kind of dismiss Kid because he hasn't had the specific training and he hasn't had the master that Luffy has, but give it some time, and like, let's see what Kid actually did in those 2 years.
Yeah. Another one too is the back to the Big Mom falling thing is
Yeah.
People don't understand the chaos that it would cause just having one Yonko defeated. It's ridiculous. I think, and I'm sure Trippy's listening. Trippy says that Capone could take the place of Big Mom. He could be a Yonko. What? Capone doesn't have the power in terms of himself, and you could argue, oh, but he doesn't need it because he could have really strong allies defend all his territories. You can have strong allies protect him. Wrong. What's stopping Kaido from coming over and like, I want those poneglyphs, Capone? You know, like.
Listen, man. No supernova has the military strength to become a Yonko.
No, we can't defend it all.
They don't have the resources. Nothing. There's more to a Yonko than just how strong you are. A one-on-one fight. There's way more to a Yonko than that.
I mean, that's the thing where Capone, he could take down, say somehow manages to take down Big Mom. I mean, then what? What are you gonna do? Like once everybody else comes to whole cake. I mean, I don't think Big Mom's allies or Big Mom's like they're just gonna follow you.
Yeah.
You know, are you taking down Big Mom category smoothly?
There's another thing too is that if it's Judge that somehow gets the spotlight, maybe he can take the place. But I was rereading. He hates pirates, so I don't think he would do it.
Who, Judge?
Yeah, Judge. If he somehow is able to take her down, I don't think he would become a Yonko. He would do something else.
Judge's goal is something that it's up in the air. Where I don't feel like that's his true goal to take back the North Blue. So Judge has a better chance than Capone.
Yeah, he has a way better chance.
Like if he wanted to be a Yonko. It's still far fetched either way, but I don't know about Judge.
No,
I don't know about Capone being a Yonko.
Like I think it's all far fetched. I think the most sense though, if you want to go with the theory that a Yonko is gonna fall, that Big Mom's gonna go down this arc, I think the most probable person to take her spot would be Judge. But I don't think that he would.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
I think he would probably want one of his sons to become a Yonko. Like I don't think him personally, like Ichiji or something, just to have that power from that. Because I think Big Mom even German said don't believe in fairy tales, and I think Judge. I think that's pretty much the perception of Germa as far as the top tiers. It's like that's just a fairy tale. Like they're just like they don't even have any territory. They're walking around with a floating island or just, it's not, I don't feel like that's the perception Judge wants. So like to become a Yonko, one of his sons a Yonko, and with all the resources they have and the technology, I think he'd want to go for that as like a power because like Germa, like the whole faction of Germa is like recognized as a Yonko.
I'll give another comparison as well as why Big Mom can't be taken out of this act. So let's say it was Whitebeard and his boys on this island right now, and we were trying to steal the poneglyphs from him. It's like saying Luffy takes out Cracker, Capone it's not Cracker. Like Luffy takes out Vista and Joe's or something, and like Capone takes out Marco. Like you're getting rid of all these top tiers, and then you're taking out Whitebeard too, just because you got Judge Capone and Luffy. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Yeah,
dude, we're talking about a Yonko being taken out on their own freaking territory. Do you know how stupid that sounds? Like, I don't think that like people are really like thinking about this. That sounds retarded. Like, and then not only does it sound retarded from the sense that taken down in their own territory. This is the first fucking arc that we saw her. It's not like it's a Whitebeard kind of thing. Like I don't understand it, man. That shit pisses me off. It really does.
I think people are wanting Big Mom to get taken down because they want the story to.
They want the story to go.
Yeah, because if Big Mom gets taken down, then it's like, oh wow, oh shit.
The counter argument for what we were saying is in like why Capone couldn't do it. Is because Trippy believes that because Capone is based on the underground version, the real life version of Al Capone, right? He was the king of the underworld, so he believes he has underground affiliates, people who run the underground. They can help him out He believes that the Vinsmokes could take over. And for us to say that Capone couldn't do it, how do we not say the same about Blackbeard? He managed to take over all of Whitebeard's territory after Whitebeard died.
Well,
I mean,
there's two things. There's two things that go with that, man. Okay, there's a lot of stuff. We're comparing Blackbeard to Capone. That like Blackbeard had two devil fruits whenever he took over all of Whitebeard's territory. It's not like we're just talking about some random person that just that just knew all of this stuff. Blackbeard was on Whitebeard's crew for how long? We know he was on his crew long enough, and he was strong enough to be considered for the position of the second commander. So to compare, like Capone's not being asked to be a commander on a fucking Yonko ship.
I mean, yeah, he was
Like,
on Big Mom's ship, and he wasn't. I mean, I think Capone is the most like Blackbeard. I mean, as far as like what's the supernovas.
Well, they say to us we don't know how strong Capone is. Wasn't Capone scared of Nekomamushi?
He said, "Call him a monster." Yes, he was. Yeah, he stayed a.
Whilst he has his entire crew with him.
There's a monster outside.
Yeah, and he bailed.
Dipped. Yeah. Capone, Yonko, I think he's gonna find a way to hurt Big Mom. I think he's gonna find a way to like huge. But I don't think his goal is to take down Big Mom there when the Poneglyphs. I think that's what Capone's goal is. People saying
another one too is we have to take into consideration a lot of if Big Mom gets taken down his arc, if anything, it's because she's nerfed horribly. Because we have Brooke, we have Nami, right? On top of that, Capone has the Sea Stone Spear in the works. If he stabs her with that, that means the homies go for good. Like it's just like it doesn't mean she's 0% power, but it means that a lot of the things that make her hacks are no longer viable.
Well, the thing is, like, if say Big Mom's about to eat the cake and Capone like comes out with a spear and stabs her right in the heart with the spear, falls in the middle of the wedding. I mean, that doesn't just make Capone a Yonko right then and there.
No.
But that kind of throws everything into chaos. Big Mom just falls in the wedding. Like the reaction from everyone would be just like, what?
Yeah, there's so much stuff. There's the bomb that's gonna explode.
Yeah.
There's whatever Pudding's got up her sleeve, whatever Sanji and Luffy end up planning, whatever Capone and his crew are planning, whatever Judge is planning. All these little things, and it's all just going to be a big mess.
And I think Pudding has a plan too as well. I don't think Pudding is actually. I think Pudding has her own thing going on. I know Big Mom expects her to do this, but I think she's going to do something different.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
No, I'm done.
No, man. I'm reading these comments in the comment section.
Torian Flank just donated $5. Good looks, man. He said, quick question. If Capone dies while you're inside his body, do you die as well? I think so. I think what happens is that his power then fades and you're kind of just ejected out of his body. Yeah, I don't think you die as well. That'd be kind of crazy. If if Capone dies and you're inside him, then you die. No, I just think you kind of get ejected.
Oh, so he's just like he eats everyone and then kills himself. So that's how he becomes Yonko.
That's how he becomes Yonko. He eats Big Mom. I don't know. I see Big Mom getting hurt to the point where it's like the spear, and then all the homies just I think all the homies go back to her. But then one could argue that Big Mom is kind of nerfed right now because of the power that she's expending and stuff. Like, I wonder how powerful she is when she calls all of them back to her.
Yeah, there's those incarnation things that I've been showing everyone, those little black blob things. They interest me massively because from what we see, there's 3. they're like islands away. So, like for example, some are in Chocolate Town, which took Luffy an entire night to sail from Chocolate Town to Whole Cake. Her power span across such a large radius.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's I'm sure she's controlling that. So she's probably gonna have to get, she's gonna get a power up once all that comes back to her. Smoothie hasn't done anything, like Timothy Abakani says, and we haven't met Katakuri. And the Straw Hats, like, they were captured. I mean, and Big Mom, she let Jinbei go. Now, this shit is so convenient right now, where it's like, why did Big Mom just let Jinbei go? I mean, she even told people to watch him, where it's like, we don't trust him right now. Where it makes it seem like Big Mom knows everything that's going on. She's just going along with it because she's playing a fucking game.
Yeah.
That's how she makes
I think she's going along with it because like I said, man, for the sake of the wedding, for the sake that this all goes according to her plan, because she has something up her sleeve too. Like, what is she gonna do after she gets the Vin Smokes, and why does she want the Vin Smokes technology so bad?
The Vin Smokes technology. That's something.
It's cloning. It's cloning and shit like that. So I mean, that might be why. But like, I just think like this is I don't know. This just shows you what's so bad about reading a series weekly, because you have all of these people, you got all these people saying, oh yeah, Big Mom's trash, Big Mom sucks, Big Mom's crew is underwhelming. And I bet you after this arc ends and like shit hits the fan, everybody's gonna be, oh my gosh, did you guys see what Big Mom did? Yeah, but you guys were the same people that were saying she's trash.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Big Mom, like, she was awake the whole time faking it, like, okay, whatever. Like, the whole thing with Luffy and those guys escaping, the whole thing with Jinbei, like, she knew everything that was happening, but it was all fun for her. Like, that's probably the most excitement that's been on Whole Cake since, I mean, we had the Rouge thing, the kid thing. I'm sure she enjoys those up, and it's like, it's actually like challenging her.
I want to add to that before I go, because I've got to go now. But
yeah, I'm in like 5 minutes, but go ahead.
She says in the official translation, that scene where she's like, they're like, he's fighting Cracker right now. Has he defeated him yet or something, right? In the official translation, she's like, oh, is that Straw Hat all talk, just like the others? Meaning Kid, Apu, and all that. Like, she wanted him to give her a challenge, and the fact that he did, and she still shut him down, gives her that like kind of little pleasure, like, haha, even though you passed that trial, I still wrecked you. You suck.
Yep.
And on top of that, I want to recommend, just before we go, all of you people that are telling me that this arc is trash, that the crew is trash, that Big Mom is trash, go back and reread. There's so much in this arc. You're gonna do a heel turn by the end.
I mean, just look at another thing is like, whenever Big Mom first started like talking to Luffy, like back on Fishman Island, she seems that she was like interested in him. He was like the first thing that she said was, "Oh, you're Garp's grandson." Like, like, oh, let me see, let me see if you can do something. Like, and then I don't know, man. I just people look at. We look at everything just for face value. We don't look at the deeper things. Like, no, like I feel like me and Theory were like one of the first people to even think about the fact that Big Mom could possibly absorb her souls back. That like the direct pieces of her soul. I'm not talking about the homies like that that are all around the island. I'm talking about the pieces of her direct soul that are a part of her power. No one even thought to think, oh, hey, what if Big Mom takes that back in? Does she get stronger? Or if they're defeated, what happens? Like, does the soul that's in her, does it go back to her? Does it die? What? And like I just
we got to take these things.
Nobody's given her that just due respect of her like being a Yonko. I don't think that you can underestimate anybody that is a Yonko. Period.
Yeah, you shouldn't, especially on her territory. Like, that's crazy. That's like you can't do that. And Big Mom, she's shown to be like this person that's so manipulative, and like you can't really see or read her in a way because sometimes she just flips the script. Yeah, I think we're all in agreement here. Like Big Mom does not follow this arc. There's no way that
No, she doesn't at all.
you know. But yeah, we may try to have another one of these later. So I know that's probably gonna be late for Theory. Matt may be able to join, but I'll shoot you guys the link. But guys, like the stream, Matt's channel, Theories will be in the description box because you know, Theory in his channel. But yeah, like the stream, subscribe. We'll catch you guys later.